What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another English beer review here at Thomas Opent. And this review is in English because of a request. So this review will have two shout outs. The first one is to Yo. Yo sent me this beer. Yo actually sent me 4 beers from the Struise, which is beyond epic, beyond insane, and I am still blown away by the fact that I had an international beer mail and it had 4 of the Struise beers. You can already see one of the reviews if you go back a little bit. It'll be a Dutch review, and there's still 2 reviews coming, so that, I mean, come on, it's the Struise. Yo, again, I have said thank you so much already, but again, thank you so much for sending me these beers. The second shout out is to James from Rampant Lion Reviews, dear friend, a great beer reviewer from both Scotland, but also Sweden, because that's where he resides these days. Him being Scottish, he saw that I got these beers and he was like, please, will you do that review in English? I asked Yo was okay with it, so there we go. Robert the Great by Struise. Why in English, and why for James from Rampant Lion Reviews? Because James is Scottish, and Robert the Great is also known as Robert the Bruce, and is one of the biggest folk heroes in Scottish history. One of the kings of Scotland fought and basically instigated together, depending on how you look at, I mean, I don't know the full history of it, but basically he is one of the instigators and one of the leaders and one of the great people in the first Scottish War for Independence. James, if I messed anything up there, just please correct me, but Robert the Bruce, Robert the Great, one of the greatest Scottish heroes ever, and he is still seen as one of the best Scots ever by many people in Scotland. Speaking of Scotland, by the way, and kilts, do you know what they call a kilt and not a skirt? Because many a man have been so for calling it one. Right, anyway, back to the beer review, because that's what this is all about. James, if he were to do this review, his review would probably be not just his standard 30 minutes, it would be around 45 to 50, because not only would he give a great history about the Struise as a brewery, he would also give you a great history about Robert the Great. Just so you know, I love you, man, and here's to you, and mostly, of course, Yo. Here's to you. Thank you so very much. Just quickly about the beer. This is a barrel-aged beer. It's been let's see, maturation on port barrels. This is a 2018 vintage. And it was aged on port barrels, and it doesn't actually say for how long. I'm trying to find a bottling date. It has a best buy date, I guess, somewhere. 2020. You know what? This might have actually been on port barrels for quite a while, because the bottle lot is 2020. Oh, the bottling date is... Wait, if this is a 2018 vintage, this has been on a port barrel for just about 2 years? Somewhere between a year and 2 years. Because the bottling date was the March 12th, 2020. And if this is a 2018 vintage, that means it was brewed in 2018, depending on when it was brewed. This has been in port barrels for somewhere between a year and 2 years. Holy crap. Holy crap. I was not aware of this yet. This is one of my favorite style of beers and one of my favorite barrels. And I'm only just finding this one out. Yo, Joe, yo, you were a magnificent person. Thank you so much. Let's open this one up. Interesting thing about the Struise. This one is filled, by the way. Look at how, can you guys see? That one is filled to the top. Can you see? That is amazing. One thing that I always find very interesting about Struise is they put the amount of calories on the bottle. So this bottle has 384 calories for a bottle. Nobody cares. Well, you know, I used to care. I still kind of care. Calories are a bit of a thing for me. But still, when you drink a beer, you shouldn't care. But it's funny, isn't it? It's fun that they let you know. So let's just pour this out. It pours a beautiful dark brown with still quite some carbonation in there and still quite some head on it. That is actually, I had not expected that. there is still quite an amount of head on that for a beer that's already been in the bottle for about, let's see, April, May, June. This is 4 months in the bottle right now for a barrel-aged beer. And it's been barrel-aged somewhere between a year and 2 years. That is impressive. That is quite impressive. And it looks beautiful. It really has that deep, 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 well, nearly black. As you guys can see, it's probably just black. It is the most darkest of darkest brown, basically black. It is a beautiful looking beer in the glass. And this already makes me so hopeful. It is 10.5% ABV, by the way. I forgot to mention that one. Let's see what she does in the nose, okay? So yeah, there are so many things going on here. I need to put this down for a second. This is going to be a longer review. Usually my reviews are about 10 minutes. This could easily hit the 15-minute mark. This is spectacular in the nose. It has... So first of all, it has this sort of earthy, nearly farmhousey, funky thing going on, but not like a Geuze or like a breaded beer. It has sort of like a... It's that earthiness from a farm. It's a very big, earthy, big, potent nose with an amazing amount of char, by the way. There's a deep level of char in here. So it's got this big cocoa chocolate thing as well. And you get the port. You get that vinous, deep, dark red fruit port character with a lovely, soft, oaky hint in the background. That sort of not sour, but when you get like grape in the bottle of, okay, let's say you have a bottle of red wine or a port, and you have that last few little milliliters left in the bottle, and you leave that for a while, and you smell that, and it has that sort of, there's a word for it. It's the base of a vinegar, so it still has that soft, not a sourness, but an astringency, and you get that soft astringency together with a potent, big red fruit component from that port. With again that sort of char and vanilla from the oak. Dear God in heaven, this is beautiful. I could smell this all day. I don't actually want to drink it. I just want to smell it. I just want to keep on smelling it. The thing is though, I do need to tell you what it tastes like, so I kind of have to do that right now. Yo, again, thank you for this already fantastic smelling beer. I am so hyped about this right now. Cheers. So that sort of, what I mentioned, that earthy, farmhousey thing, it's not so much farmhouse as in, when you say farmhouse, you start thinking about your Geuzes, you start thinking about that funky horse blankety thing. That's not what I mean. When I talk about farm, it's that sort of soft, peaty character with a sort of a milk chocolatey base in there. And it's not peated as in like a Lagavulin or a Lefroy or a Kalila. No, it's that just that sort of earthy, peaty note, but not too overwhelming. It's got this sort of it's like a bass. It's like a beautiful bass line. And then you got these guitars going with the this is all the playful notes from the barrel, and you know, got that sort of chocolatey thing going on and everything. Roasted, big, deep roasted notes. I mean, there has to be oats in here. If they're not oat, if there isn't any oat in here, I'm gonna go. Wheat. Not oats, but wheat. This is wheat in it. Okay, that explains a little bit of that sort of silky mouthfeel, but I could have sworn that this had oats in it. The mouthfeel is, it's not sticky chewy, but it's so smooth and soft. When I saw that quite big head on, well, not a big head, but for a barrel-aged beer that's been in a barrel for at least a year, probably longer, I had expected, when I saw the amount of head it still had, I expected a lot more carbonation. It hardly has carbonation when it comes to that. It is so smooth. With just a hint of tingling on your tongue, which is from a soft carbonation and that 10.5% ABV, which is not giving any heat in itself, but it's letting you know, like, I'm here, I'm there, I pack a little bit of a punch. Licorice. It's got licorice. It's definitely got a good licorice note in there. And you just know, when you know, you know. This is hard to describe, but when you know, it's Belgian. In a way that you can just, you know, it's Struise. If you have had a few Struises in your life, you know that particular. If you taste this, you know it's them. And that's a very good thing. This is signature Struise. And I'm loving it. For me, this is definitely, Matt from Massive Beer Reviews would say Mount Rushmore. For me, this is Mount Rushmore. This is Mount Rushmore levels of achieving a great beer. I love it. I think this is fantastic. That port character, that vinous red fruit, you know, fortified wine character in the nose is just amazing. Part of me needs to hunt down a few more bottles of this and just, you know, lay them down, keep a few for a few years, and just have other people drink this as well. Because this is, if you're an Imperial Stout fan, if you're a Belgian beer fan, if you're a port barrel aged fan, this is what you need to drink. This is stunning. This is an easy 4.5 for me on Untapped. And I could drink this all day, every day, and would not get bored with it. Yo, I can't thank you enough for sending me this beer. This is beyond amazing. It's going to be fantastic to have that label on my shelf as well, by the way. I love it. I'm flabbergasted, and I'm going to enjoy this for the next at least hour or so. Just going to really enjoy this beer. Thank you so much, yo. James, I really hope you like this review. If you like this review, press like. If you really loved this review, please subscribe to my channel. In the subscription box below, you can find links to all of my social media and a link to the Dutch Beer Collective. It's a website where you can find the channels and reviews of my greatest beer friends and brothers in beer, Remy from Beer Geek Holland and Gerben from Dutch Beer Geek. Please check them out and subscribe as well. And instead of leaving you with my usual, I'll see you in the next review, and cheers, I will leave you with a Scotland the Brave.